My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this session is part of our Gauntlet Community Open Gaming, and this is us playing Hearts of Wulin. And this is a game that I did the design on and I co-wrote, and that I really like. And it is a game of wuxia melodrama. That's the primary idea of the game that we're playing. So I'm going to walk through some explanation of what that means to me and what it means in terms of our play here. Our concept is that we're all playing martial heroes, the kinds you might have seen in the Untamed, or you might have seen in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Hero. This is a fantastic version of classic China. And you as heroes exist in a world that is kind of outside of normal society and outside of imperial society. It's a world of factions and orders competing with one another. Our wuxia, our heroes, are there trying to do good in the world, but they are caught up in things that are happening around them. You have extraordinary powers. You can run across water, you can leap through trees, you can do extraordinary flips. You have all of these powerful skills and attributes, but you are caught up by your heart. You have a hard time expressing your emotions. You have a hard time saying what you mean. And so throughout this, you will find yourself in conflict with what you want and with what is happening. And it means you can do great and powerful things, but you may be undone by someone giving you a longing glance. That is the sort of concept for this game. For our sort of aim, we're going to do character creation, as I mentioned. We're going to have you choose a playbook. We've got 6 playbooks on there that have different kinds of approaches, and each of those playbooks has 3 roles. So you'll choose a playbook and a role. We'll do the step throughs to make those choices, the choices of your additional moves and stats. And then we will figure out your entanglements. You all have a romantic entanglement and a general entanglement. And entanglements are triangular relationships. They are your relationship with one person that is complicated by your relationship with another. And we'll get to that when we go to that section. Once we got all that set, we take our break, we go to an inciting incident, kind of set all of you in a play. The framework for this is that there is a wedding that is going on. You are all heading to the wedding, and you may be wanting to stop the wedding. You may be wanting to keep the wedding going ahead. You may have somebody else that you're in love with. You may be in love with the bride. You may want to kill the groom. There are all these things. We have on our character keeper a lot of tabs. One of them is an NPC tab of beautiful people. These are the NPCs that you can choose from and add to your relationships as we go along. There are a few of them at the top row that are kind of set characters, the groom and the bride, but then other characters, we can figure out who they are when you put them into your relationships. The tone of the game is melodramatic. In these stories, our emotions, our reactions, our passions are heightened, but our characters have to kind of try to maintain their facade in the face of this. It's hard for them to express what they feel. We kind of play these stories straight, but of course, there'll be a little bit of humor or comedy that will naturally arise from things. But that tone may shift around depending on how we go through our play. The subject matter of this is both romance, emotion, and then conflict and combat are all mixed up in these stories. It revolves around trust, they revolve around betrayal, all of that. Now, what I want to emphasize with this is that this is a mythical China as presented in wuxia TV shows, movies, and novels. My primary source for this are the wuxia stories of the authors Jin Yong and Gu Long, which are great long novels of wuxia heroes that have been translated into TV shows and movies over the years multiple times. I love those TV shows, and we're in a new era where they're on Netflix and Amazon and all over the place, YouTube. Those are my sources for this. It is a set of materials, a set of ideas that are from another culture. We want to treat that culture with respect. We want to honor those ideas and treat them as the kind of literature and expression that they are. We don't want to delve into parody. We don't do accents. We can do voices, but we don't do accents. And we try to do this best we can. I am super white, but I love this material, and my goal is to treat it as respectfully as we can, and like explore and enjoy these kinds of stories. So that's the basic setup. To complement this, we are playing with a set of layered safety tools. I know some of you may be familiar with the use of safety tools. We are using 3 safety tools. The first of these is lines and veils. That is the first tab on the character keeper. You can take a look at that and mark things as we're doing the character creation process. A line indicates that is material that you do not want to see in the game. That's not the kind of stories we want to play out. That's not the kind of material. That's not what we want to have on the table. So that's a hard line. A veil is anything that you're not as comfortable with. If it comes up, we want to fade to black. It might appear as a piece of subject within here, but we'll turn away from it. And then ask first means you're okay with that kind of material, but you would like a check-in. If a PC or the GM wants to bring that material in, check in on that. I've got a lot of things on that list, and I want to specify under torture by the PCs as a line. Oops. If there's something that you want to add, feel free to add it to that list. That's there. When we get to introductions of our characters, after the character creation process, I'll check in again and walk through what we've chosen. The second safety tool that we use is we use the X card, which you can say, I want to X card that, or you can raise your arms in a gesture. X card means that this is something that you find problematic, that you find objectionable, just like the language, it's hitting on a phobia, or if you find that it's wildly off tone. There are all kinds of reasons to X card and mark that out. You don't have to justify an X card choice. We just will maybe have to ask about where we have to roll back to, but that's how we handle that. The X card is good if we're playing along and we get going and maybe we're starting to lean towards something we've marked as a line and maybe we haven't caught it. Somebody saying, hey, I think an X card that, I think we're heading towards that line. That's a great reason to do that. Also X card, if something has happened a couple of times in the game and you've been like, okay, I'm fine with it, but then later on you're not, it is legit to later X card it. There, you don't worry about that. When it starts to bother you, if it does, mark it. The last piece of safety that I'll mention is we have an open door policy, which means that if you need to leave, if you need to step away for whatever reason, personal, physical, emotional, whatever, you can leave. It'd be great if you told us maybe you'd be back, but you're not obligated to. It's also worthwhile if, like, let's say you're playing along, you're like, oh my God, this is not the game for me. It is legit to say, thank you, I'm gonna walk away. You should never feel trapped or obligated to play something. These are all the kinds of safety tools that we use on the Gauntlet for all our games. So we bring that when we do the Open Community Weekend. All right. Whew, that's a bunch there, but I've got it down so I can do that little spiel in about 10 minutes. We're going to talk about character creation, talk about our characters. We have a tab that's called Character Creation that has the steps of our character creation. We're going to walk through so you know that there's sort of a set of steps. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the playbooks. We have 6 playbooks that are on the table. I want to briefly go through those, and then I'm going to go around and say, ooh, what are you thinking? What are you interested in? And you're going to go, I don't know. Can you go to the next person? And eventually some people are going to choose their playbooks, and the choices will get narrowed down. That's how that happens with these. So our playbooks are the Aware, and this is all in the playbooks tab. The Aware is the character that is about learning. It's about showing wisdom, about figuring out solutions. And we have, you can be a master, you can be a scholar, you can be a traveling teacher. The second one we have is the Bravo. The Bravo is the character that enjoys things. They love the life, they enjoy every moment. And that includes the favored spoiled eldest. It includes the gallivant that travels from place to place, and it also includes the masked thief for justice. The next one is the Loyal, real classic. These are the characters that want something to go right, that feel strongly about the righteousness of their duty and the duty of others. We have the Devoted Child. We have the official, like a magistrate or a judge, and we have the Swordsman, just classic, like they lean into the way of the sword. We have the Outsider. These are characters that even in the wuxia world are a little bit outside of that. They're a little bit marginal. We have a Rebel. We have a Trickster, and we have the Wanderer. They wander from place to place. We see them each week on the episode in another place that they've arrived at. We have the Student. The Student is the naive character, the character that maybe doesn't know everything about the world, but would like to experience it. And that includes the Temple Wanderer, it includes the Hopeful Apprentice, and it includes the younger sibling, the one who maybe hasn't gotten the opportunities that their older sibling has. And then last of these playbooks is the Unorthodox. This is our maybe a little bit odd playbook. It includes the Accidental, who doesn't actually know martial arts, but somehow muddles through. It includes the Hidden. This is a character who's trying to hide that they know martial arts, or hide that they know a particular style. Like, then there's a reason why they're hiding away. And then there's the Prodigy. Somehow they've acquired skill, talent, and power, but they maybe don't have a great sense of how to control it yet. So those are our playbooks. And so I'm going to go around in order of arrival on the call. Brian, do you have a thought about which playbook or playbooks you're interested in?
I think I'd be most interested in the Bravo.
The Bravo. Okay. Definitive call right out of the gate. The Bravo is yours. Is it Myri?
Yes.
Now it's down to 5 choices. What appeals to you?
Maybe Aware.
Okay. You say maybe. Do you want to have 2 choices on the table, kind of thinking, or are you like, I'll go with the Aware?
I'll go with Aware.
Okay, good. This is very definitive, which is exciting to me. Cisco,
I'm gonna go with the Outsider.
Outsider. Okay. Marcus, it gives you 3 good choices. Are any of those appeal to you?
I actually like the Unorthodox.
Okay.
Because I am. So
excellent. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to pick a column on the character keeper and start in there. Put your name and pronouns, your character's name and pronouns. If you need help, I do have a naming, like the very end is tab with some example names and stuff. You're going to come up with your look. You're going to come up with your fighting style. This is how you figure out your fighting style. You figure out what element it's associated with, because that's what you're always going to roll when you fight. You figure out what kind of weapon you use, whether it is a long straight sword or whether it's unarmed or staff, and you give it a cool name. That is all the mechanics that are involved in your fighting style. You'll then assign your numbers to your stats, to your elements. You've got a +2, +1, +1, 0, and then a -1. And then you'll go to your playbook. You'll choose one of those roles. write in your roll move, and then you're going to get 2 other moves from your playbook. You can choose one now or both now. If you want to like leave a space and choose the other one as we play along, you can do that. So now is a chance for me to stop talking, and I'm going to sit here awkwardly while I allow you to work on your character. If at any point you have a question, just say so, and I will jump in and help you out. Okay? All right.
Where do we put the style? Oh, there it is. Never mind. I just found it.
Okay.
Are we adding our moves now?
Yeah, we can do all the way up to the moves choices. So the style, element choices, the moves, and just up to there. And in case folks want a picture, here is a Pinterest board with a number of images.
Thank goodness. I love a good Pinterest board.
I'm going to give everybody a couple more minutes. Anything that you haven't chosen now, feel free to choose as we go along to play. But in a couple minutes, we'll kind of move to introductions and I'll talk about entanglements. Okay. I know we'll have a few things to finish off. You can do that as you wish as we go along here. What we're going to do is we're going to have, and I'm going to go in character keeper order. We're going to have you introduce your character, tell us a little bit about them. I'll ask some questions. We'll get that sense into place. What we're going to be doing after we've done introductions is you're going to be doing entanglements. As I mentioned before, you'll have a romantic entanglement and a general entanglement. And these entanglements are three-part. Essentially, you have a relationship with someone that's complicated by a third person. We have a tab in the keeper, because we have tabs for everything apparently, which has example entanglements, has some suggestions. You can modify these. You know, if it says sibling, you could have it be friend, you can change those around to give you some ideas on what those might look like. I do want to mention that you're going to have that general and that romantic. We'll want you to have a fellow PC in one of those entanglements. And at least one of them, you're going to want to rope another PC in. For the NPCs, we've got that beautiful tab of lots of names and beautiful people, including the bride and groom, which, since you're going to this wedding, might be interesting to tie yourselves into their stories. We'll always check in with another player if you include them in your entanglements. And the last thing I want to say about that is romantic entanglements don't necessarily mean intimate romance. They can mean unrequited love. They can mean a crush. They can mean a strong sense of brotherhood. If you want to approach it in an aromantic way, feel free to do that. Don't feel like you're being forced into establishing that kind of relationship. It's up to you how you want to set up your character. So with that in mind, I'm going to remind you that if you want to take a look at lines and veils, anything you want to that. And I'm going to start at the far left of the character keeper. Brian, tell us about your character.
Yes, so I will be playing Wei, also known as Rambling Wei. He has a reputation for being quite the partier. I think he was invited to this wedding because, like, you know, it's sort of a formality. He'd be expected to be invited, but they were kind of hoping he wouldn't come because he might distract a bit from the focus of the festivities. I think the real reason he's here is that his true love is also here, but they may not. I suspect we'll get into that more with the relationships, but it's not gonna be clean. And you know, going to weddings to seek out your love is always a good idea, right?
So tell me about your fighting style.
Yeah, so he uses a spear. The style, I took the name from the tab. I liked it. Western Inferno Dance. Basically, he moves his spear so quickly that it heats up the air. It involves a lot of twirling and leaping about.
So do you imagine you come from like a Wulin family, a family of heroes?
Yeah, he'd probably be from one of the main families involved in the wedding, but perhaps not something of a black sheep in that his lifestyle is a little less refined than some others, but he's not like an apostate or anything.
Okay. So do you imagine this style is something that's taught among your family, or is this something different that you've learned, or something else?
I hadn't thought about it. I like the idea that it's taught amongst the family.
Okay. So you are one of these masters of this style that's handed down. And tell me what you took as your move picks. You have the Gallivant roll move, which allows you to avoid getting caught up in situations. And what else?
I took Come Drink With Me, which lets me keep people's attention because, you know, when I'm in a social situation, I'm having a good time, and, you know, people just want to see what happens next.
And how old do you imagine? Are you on the young end of things, like in late teens, or are you 20s or 30s? What do you think?
20s probably. That gives me enough time to have, you know, traveled out a bit and developed a reputation.
And do you think your reputation is true? Are you truly the ne'er-do-well that others perceive you to be?
I think it's a mix. I think he tends to get involved in sort of like high profile hijinks, but isn't necessarily, but I think he just tends to draw attention to himself and isn't necessarily the instigator that people think he is.
Fair enough. I think that gives us good stuff to work with. You can take a look at the entanglements, we'll come back once we've gotten the other introductions into play. Next, let us come to Cisco.
Okay, I will be playing the Rebel Playbook. My character's name is PbtA, and that isn't his real name. PbtA is it's just a Chinese meat dumpling.
Okay.
But that's what he goes by. He is part of a faction called the Typhoon's Wrath.
Ooh.
And they're like they have like their goal is to destabilize factions that would be using their power for evil, right? Corrupt factions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason that he's here at the wedding is because the wedding is going to cause someone specific to maybe gain too much power. So he's here to destabilize that and stop either the wedding itself from happening, or maybe something else at the wedding that's going on from happening. Maybe some sort of deal or exchange.
Interesting.
I
Tell me about your fighting style then.
Yeah, my fighting style is called the Sufferer's Laugh, and I use 1 or 2 fans, and PbtA will complain that it is hot, and he will use his fans, but they're actually used as weapons. And all members of the Typhoon's Wrath are encouraged to take on cithers or flutes or other unorthodox type of weapons, so that they can sneak them in into places and cause chaos.
And that is a fire style.
And that is a fire style for the fans. Fan the flame. Do they know?
All right. Nice.
So,
nice.
And I figured that it's very much like Avatar, The Last Airbender, kind of like Airbender.
Okay.
Lots of flips and lots of, which is another reason why he's perfect for this wedding. Like, he's very unassuming, right? Nobody would think that he's a member of the Typhoon's Wrath.
And your moves?
I picked Rebel. You rebel against something, a corrupt official, your original faction or the Empire itself. So that's why I was saying there's something going on here at the wedding, right? And I can call essentially fellow rebels for help. So I think maybe that's the long-term plan, is that there's other members of the Typhoon's Wrath waiting, right, for me to give the word, and then they will come in.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then I also picked House of Traps. When you reveal a trap, you've secretly set roll. So that just sounds like fun shenanigans, right? Towards the end of this thing. And then the imposter, you can assume a perfect disguise. So I think that I am at the wedding, maybe already in disguise. Maybe the Typhoon's Wrath has taken someone hostage, and I'm pretending to be someone else. I'm open to
or at least you have a disguise that you're ready to go into when you arrive. We'll see. Looking at the figure based on entanglements when we get to the start about how we want to introduce.
Indeed, I'm really leaning into like a lot of Shakespearean sort of like, I am this person, I'm not. So
yeah, one of the classic tropes in wuxia TV shows and cinema is that even a little fake mustache is an unbreakable disguise.
Indeed.
But yours is like even more like you can appear as somebody else. We do the cutaway and we pull the mask off, from a different actor kind of thing.
Indeed. I know that's one of the tropes from wuxia that I love, and I also love that like the disguise is perfect until it's not.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that also will happen.
So how old do you think PbtA is?
I think PbtA is maybe in his late 20s,
okay,
early 30s, but he has one of those like ageless faces, so he can just pass, for
Were you raised in this faction, or did you join it?
That's a good question. I think yeah, I think maybe I was raised in it. Maybe I'm an orphan, of some sort, right?
All right. I think that gives us a good amount of stuff to work with. We'll come back to you and talk about your entanglements here in just a minute.
I have a quick rules question.
Absolutely.
Were we supposed to choose 1 move or 2?
So you can choose 1 or 2. If you just choose 1, you can choose the other one on the fly as we go along.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. That brings us to Myri.
Yeah, my character is Daylon. She's, I think, the master from the Aware playbook. She's a somewhat reserved, calm character. Unflinching gaze and modest clothing. Her fighting style, I picked Eastern Flying Dart, and she uses a rope dart and carefully finds the right place to put it for maximum effect and does so. Mhm.
So metal style, a very precise, calculated style.
Yes.
Okay. How old do you think that Delan is?
A bit older, like 40s maybe.
Okay. And the moves that you've chosen?
So I have the master one with her from the playbook, and then I have 5 deadly venoms for immediately spotting, identifying poisons or potions before they're consumed, and then helping heal people after.
Excellent. So, do you imagine her as a senior within her clan? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's sort of the reputation of using the Meteor Grace clan? What do people think of when they think of that clan?
I'm thinking generally respectable, but perhaps not a central family in whatever social environment.
And this style, the Eastern Flying Dart, is that something taught amongst your family?
Yes.
Okay. Calm, older, reserved, precise. Excellent. All right. I think that gives us enough to work with there. We'll come back to you and talk about your entanglements here in just a minute. But that brings us to Marcus. Marcus, tell us about your unorthodox.
So he is called Lan, or Uncle Lan, and he is unorthodox because he's just the bumbling uncle of I'm going to go with the groom, and he's almost like a guardian angel of the groom. He's kind of been assigned to always be his protector, but from a distance, or the groom doesn't know that Uncle Lon is his protector. He's protected him and got him out of trouble, like hidden. He doesn't step in forward, and so if say the groom has ever been bullied by a gang, this mysterious stranger has come in and beat them up, shooed them away, and then disappeared, and then his uncle will come back and say, "Oh, it happened," and and give him sage advice, and that sounds like an impressive fighter, little nephew. Let's drink some more plum wine. And I've gotten his move is the 8 steps, or sorry, not his move. His style is 8 steps of the ghost.
Okay.
And that's kind of been taught in the family. It's been handed down from ancestors, is the fact that each one always looks after the other, and then at some point reveals that style to those that you're guarding, which he uses as staff, and the staff is so he can keep up the look that he is just this kind of hobbling old uncle. That he leans on the staff, which always has the gourd of plum wine hanging off the end of it, and the move he took, or I took, sorry, for now, is the 10 miles of peach blossom, which is to associate with the salt of the earth folk, the common folk. So he mingles within a crowd, and he's always the kind of life of the party, but you never think that he is this martial arts master, this almost guardian / Robin Hood style, but only Robin Hood specifically to his nephew.
Okay. So do you think everyone in your family kind of besides him knows, or it's just like a few people in the family that know about this role that you have?
I think one of the only people that actually knows is his brother, who's the father of the groom.
Okay.
It's almost like Secret Santa. Everybody's assigned to somebody in the in the
Interesting.
family to protect, but nobody really knows, and they just know that we're all looking out for one another. And and by family, I think it can be extended. It can be long lost cousin. It could be, this is my best friend. That I grew up in a family in real life. I grew up in a family that's very like, oh, this is your uncle, this is your aunt. That's been my mom's best friend since high school. And you flat out agree that they are your uncle and aunt. There's no, you don't need to 23andMe them.
Okay.
you know them. And I feel that's the way it is. There's a big sense of community, and the 8 steps of the ghost just means that there's always this ancestor always looking out for you, and you hand that to everybody.
All right. One question before I go to entanglements. The person who protected you, what happened to them? Are they still around? Did something occur? They go missing? Like what do you think? Where are they?
I think like any good wuxia, I think there has to be a little tragedy. I think the person that was protecting Uncle Lon did that one last time, and in revealing themselves, put themselves in danger, and they died. I think that was like a great aunt, and I will let you conjure the name for them and how they may have passed. I'd say they passed protecting them last time, and maybe there's the distant foggy memory of being protected and never really getting to know them, and maybe that's it. My brother handed the style to me and not her when she passed. So.
Interesting. All right. I think that gives a lot of interesting things to play with. We're going to come back to you and talk to you about your entanglements in just a second. We do carriage return. We go back to Wei. Wei, we've got some example entanglements there. Would you like to talk about your romantic entanglement first, or your general entanglement first?
Romantic first. I have a question too about play style. So in some other PbtAs, the intent is clearly that players are often going to come in conflict with each other. And I was wondering if that was the case here, or if we're mostly on the same side.
Generally, our characters know each other, while they may have some differing objectives, and there may be like clashes in terms of desires. It's not strictly PvP, though we do have a mechanic for that in the game for resolving it. But generally, friendly, amicable rivalry is the tone of this for our PCs.
Okay, so I think that clarifies things for me. So I like that. So I was thinking, where is this? I had it selected, and now I lost it. Here we go. So I like the blank advised me not to pursue blank, but secretly wooed them.
Okay.
And it feels like it would be fun for it to be the wedding couple. But I don't necessarily it doesn't have to be. I don't know if that would.
That's certainly a strong, solid connection. So how do you want to fill that in? We've got Righteous Jade as the groom and Dawning Joy as the bride.
So I think since Lon is watching over Righteous Jade, and I don't want us to come in to too much conflict based on what you described, I think it would be Dawning Joy advised me not to pursue Righteous Jade,
Okay.
but secretly wooed them, and now there's a wedding.
Excellent. Gives you a little bit of tension right out of the gate there. I like that. A nice cross connection between the bride and groom. And you're still going to the wedding. You still, even you're part of yourself. You're still going.
Well, it might be. I don't know if this is what's going to happen, but it might be that sort of like rom-com, idea to object in the middle of the wedding. We'll see what happens.
See, excellent. Then let's come to Bauzi. What do you want to do? Your general or your romantic first?
I think I want to do my general first.
Okay.
I have learned that my friend Lon has been betrayed. If that's okay with you, Marcus, like you and I are friends already.
I
And
love friends. Go ahead. Especially dumplings. They are my friends.
indeed, I see us both at the fringe of the Yahoo, so maybe that's how we know each other,
Mhm.
and so we're friends. And instead of being has been betrayed by their teacher blank, I'm going to pitch you that you have been betrayed by Iron Lion, the father of the person whom you protect.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, my brother. No. Yes.
So are we shifting Iron Lion to be the groom's father, or is it the bride's father? Who are you protecting, Uncle Lon?
Oh, groom's father. It was originally the groom, but it can be however we wanted to.
Well, let's
play
do
it
this.
out.
Let's swap the Iron Lion to being the groom's father.
Okay.
And we'll make Peerless Zahn the bride's chief. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Iron Lion.
And so the groom's father is a family member of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the connection there?
It's your brother, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or cousin. How do you think
It's I like brother.
Okay.
The weird turning this up to
You
11
wanted
already.
Shakespearean,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I will go with brother.
Brother.
I love it. I
Excellent.
love it.
So, okay. Excellent. That is going to bring us to Delan. Do you want to do your romantic or your general first?
I think I'll do romantic first.
Okay.
And so I was eyeing a prophecy is kept blank and I apart, blank determined to ensure that. And I was thinking one of the parents of the bride and groom would be the one that there's the prophecy with. So parents are. So.
Yeah, we've got a couple of NPCs there. Which one are you being kept apart from? Who is it that you're being separated from?
We'll go with Peerless Jaylon to change it up. We have a lot going on with the groom's family.
And who is it who is determined to make sure that you and she stay apart? Is it one of her students? Is it one of your students? Is it another relative?
We'll go with one of my students.
Okay. We've got an array of wondrous people below for you to choose from.
Let's see. We'll go with Scholar of Hawks.
Okay. They, them, or is it ambiguous? What do you want to do for the pronouns?
We'll go with they, them.
Okay, all right. So Scholar of Hawks is Delon's student. Delon's. Excellent. And
So
maybe
the
we'll
prop-
find out in play why they're so determined to keep you apart, or what that prophecy looks like. Excellent.
Real quick, Lowell, where it says like the bride's chief, is a chief meant to be like a substitute parent kind of?
Yeah, that was my imagining, is that whatever order she belongs to, that's the person who's in charge of it. They
That's
might
what I
actually
thought.
be a parent, but that's sort of the leader of that group.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Let's come to Uncle Lon. Uncle Lon, do you want to do your general or your romantic first?
I think we're gonna go. Actually, let's go romantic. Yeah, let's see what Uncle Lon's got up to.
Okay.
Mm,
And if
You know-
if none of the if you're looking at that and none of them appeal, you can look at the other examples, or there's a big list below too for other ideas for entanglements too.
mhm, mhm. I think, and this is more of a friendly competition
Okay.
with Bausi, is that I still pursue. There's this person that he and I are both in love with, and been in love with since we were kids, and so I still pursue this person. They've rejected me despite the interference of Bausi, who holds an unrequited love. We've kind of are also at this wedding, as you do at a wedding, to see if you can be another married couple later on.
I like that. Who do you want as that?
Sorry, I've got so many tabs going.
I know.
Lowell, where are the folks located?
Just after character creation, that in the keeper, there's a tab that says NPCs.
Right, there it is. Now I see it. I think let's go with I'm trying to look for, there's a lot of young, beautiful people, so I'm trying to look for somebody a little older.
There's some that are kind of ambiguous.
I was going to
in
say,
age.
actually, magistrate son would be
Okay.
interesting.
Are you okay with that, Cisco?
You're
So
okay.
if I understood the entanglement, it was that both of us are pursuing this. Okay. Okay.
If that's okay, Cisco.
Yeah, and tell me who it was. Magistrate son. Okay, I like it.
I love a person in authority, so.
Okay. Excellent. That brings us back to Wei. So we've got your romantic. What do you want to do for your general?
All right, so I was thinking I rejected blank and now they have sworn vengeance against me and my friend. Basically, I think there might have been almost like sort of an arranged marriage or of some sort, but my heart wasn't in it because I was really interested in Righteous Jade. So I called that off, and that's caused a lot of tension to the extent of like, I can't believe you would show your face again. So which is partially why people weren't expecting me at this wedding, I think.
Ooh, who did you reject?
Let's see. Who here has connections already? Let's go with the Scholar of Hawks.
Okay.
Let's get all sorts of complex relationships going on.
Rejected Scholar of Hawks. And who is your friend that you're associated with
So
at Scholar of Hawks?
I think it would be one of you. I feel like based on the descriptions, I would most likely be friends with PbtA because we're like both sort of a little more on the fringes. I don't necessarily like it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't necessarily know if I'm like all on board with like the Typhoon's Wrath, but I imagine I get the sense that PbtA's like kind of a fun person to hang around with. So I think we could be friends.
You may not be aware of his allegiances.
It's quite possible. Yeah. The other question then is the disguised you my friend or the real you?
That's a good question.
Because there is some sworn vengeance involved here. So
yeah,
it might be they swore that Scholar of Hawks swore vengeance against the real you, but you're here in disguise. So
okay, I reject the Scholar of Hawks, and now they have sworn vengeance against me and my friend. Yeah, let's say that like you are friends with the real me.
Okay.
And maybe we met at a tavern while we were both traveling. That's very wuxia as well.
yeah, I like that a lot.
Excellent.
So I think if we're real friends, then I'm at least like agreeable to your political stance, you know.
Yeah, I think maybe it's not anything I talk about unless I've had quite a bit of drink.
But I imagine that we've had that in the past.
Indeed, yeah.
Basi, what do you want to do for your romantic?
I'm about to like
Okay.
take this thing, flip it, and reverse it. Okay, so I think that Uncle Lon and I are indeed both pursuing Magistrate's son, but I am pursuing her under false pretenses.
Ooh.
I am pursuing this, and Uncle Lon doesn't know this, but I am pursuing this. I am pursuing them to get closer to Iron Lion, like her and Iron Lion, or them and Iron Lion are
Okay.
are in they're in the same faction perhaps. And I actually am in love with someone else and they love me back. And I think that is going to be Ashen Twilight.
Okay.
And the way my entanglement is written is Ashen Twilight and I love one another, but that will change if she learns of my history with the Typhoon's Wrath.
Ooh.
And I think Ashen Twilight, first our love is it's not necessarily secret, but I think it's unspoken. It's a very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon kind of tense, unspoken love. But
so and you haven't even told your friend Uncle Lon you're using this rivalry as a cover to hide this relationship.
Indeed. So I haven't been a very good friend, at least in that sense. But I think that Ashen Twilight is also very close to the bride. Like Ashen Twilight would be really upset if she knew that I was here to break up this wedding, right? She's all for it.
Okay. That works.
Also, I just realized if you're here to break up this wedding, then we're both in league on that in a sense too, right?
Oh, good. It's good to have an ally.
Yeah, so
because I've set myself up to have so many enemies already.
Yeah, our motivations may be entirely different, but that would make a lot of sense too for us to be friends.
Indeed, I like it.
Excellent. That brings us to Delan. What do you want to do for your general entanglement?
So I need to work another character into this one, right?
Yeah, it would be great if you could work
Right.
a PC into it.
So Lon has some hidden power thing going on, right? He's secretive about his skills. So I was thinking I could work that into, I've discovered my friend, it could be him, has hidden their true power from me, but told someone else who's another friend. Does that sound good for?
So who might be this other friend that Lon you've revealed your secret to, but kept it from Delon? Do you think it's a relative? Do you think it's another person who's a protector like you?
Yeah, maybe a relative. All right.
So what do you think, Uncle Lon? Who might be, like, do you want to point to somebody maybe that would be a relative of yours that you've shared that secret with?
So sorry, give me the entanglement again. It kind of got, I was reading and also got.
The entanglement is I have discovered my friend, your character, Uncle Lon, has hidden their true power from me, but told somebody else, another friend.
Actually, yeah, I would, instead of another NPC, I'd have to go with my best friend, who is undercutting my relationship right now, just for purpose. Bausi. So even though we keep it in the family, and like I said earlier, it's your best friend can be considered family, you know, and you. So I've revealed that I am more than just the goofy old drunk to Bausi.
And Delon, you have a tight connection with these two, friendship with these two, and then you find out that one of them is keeping this secret from you. Told the other one. That's that's got to hurt. So that will bring us, last but not least, to Uncle Lon. Uncle Lon, what do you want as your general entanglement?
Brian, your Wei is here for this wedding for, sorry, what
So
reason?
Wei was invited, but and most people would assume he's just here to party, but he is. We discussed a little in the chat. Basti and I are here to break up the wedding, at least in part because Wei is interested in the group.
Okay. Ooh, you know, actually, this would be more for Delon, is that my friend Delon hates maybe Bausi, but refuses to tell me why. Maybe there's more of that jealousy about the secret. Not to say that it's about me, but maybe it's more about the style or maybe the connection.
Is that an anger over that kind of betrayal? Does that work for you, Delon?
Yeah, or maybe it something more that came out of that betrayal.
I was about to say, yeah, like a little more fleshed out rather than just the betrayal. But I'm liking how tight this is starting to feel. So it is becoming.
Maybe Uncle Lon, you could have helped Delon at some point in the past, but you chose to keep your cover.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Is I could have physically helped and stepped in, but it also meant compromising kind of this family secret a bit. But then just casually as and that could be respectable, you know, in the world of martial arts. But then I just casually, over a bunch of drinks with Baozi, you know, we started chisawing our styles together, and Dylan's like, "What? You could have totally helped me. Why are you?" But I didn't realize that, and so that's why they refused to tell me why. Maybe it's a sense of pride too. So
excellent. So we have a strong sense of our characters. There's one last mechanical thing that you can do. You will note that on your character sheet, you see it says bonds. You will choose one person from each of those entanglements, write their name in, and you have a bond level 1 with them. Why is that important? Bonds are a resource that you can spend after a roll to bump it up by 1. You can spend any of your bonds that you have on your sheet at any time to give yourself a +1. If you want to help someone, if you have a bond with them, you can spend it to give them a +1. So you can always spend your own, but if you want to help somebody, you've got to spend bonds with them. And there is a role, comfort, and support to do that kind of on the fly in scenes. All right, we've got a complicated web of things. We're going to take
to add
yes.
to that real quick.
Yeah,
Lo,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw in the chat, but Brian and I decided that Wei absolutely knows that Baozi is in the Typhoon's Wrath. That Baozi
Okay.
let him know.
Excellent.
And I'm in on the plan to break up the wedding.
So yeah, that gives us good stuff to work with. We are going to take 10 for this first break. So we'll come back at about 3:38, and then we'll continue. Okay. Okay. So we are shortly before the wedding. We are a day or two away from that. This joining of two important families amongst the wuxia world, and this is happening at the estates of the groom of Righteous Jade's family, Uncle Lon's family. There's a big gathering, so that's been in preparations. Beautiful area. Of course, we've got a lovely pond nearby and a pagoda and all of the classic elements. But we take up with all of you kind of not quite there yet, and I'll explain why. We're going to start with Wei and Delon. Wei, where were you when you decided when okay, I've got to go to this wedding? Like what were you in the middle of?
I think I was carousing in a tavern a ways off, so it probably took a while for my invitation to arrive, just for them to find me. And when I saw who was getting married, then I think I got a bit drunk and started going on about I think Bessie was there, and so I was probably going on to him about like, oh, this wedding, can you believe it? Righteous Jade and I should have been together, but Dawning Joy told us not to, and then she decided that she would jump in instead, and I feel like such a fool for, it seemed like Righteous Jade and I could have been so good together, but it was not to be. And now this wedding's happening, and I don't want anything to do with it. And I think PbtA was like, well, hold on, this wedding actually. And then that's sort of, I think we after an extended rant session and a plan was formed, like, no, we're going to this.
It certainly coincided with your desires, PbtA, to go along and have cover from your friend, right?
Indeed.
And so tell me, you have got an identity that you plan to use when you arrive there. What kind of identity is it? Are you a guard? Are you a servant? Are you a noble? Like, how do you imagine that character that you're ready to change into?
You could be my guest.
Yeah, I think I am Way's guest.
Okay.
So
So Wei knows that he is sneaking you into this wedding.
Yeah, yes. And perhaps that has been so far maybe like an awkward part of our plan is we still need to come up with like a really good reason why you would bring someone.
Mhm.
And maybe as we get more details of the wedding, I can pretend to be, someone of import.
You undoubtedly have a few cover identities in your pocket that have been built up over the years. People that you know are in distant parts of the kingdom that you can utilize.
Indeed, I think one of those identities is like an appraiser of precious maybe objects or weapons. Maybe I pretend to be someone who knows of the lore of maybe sacred items of the land.
Absolutely. All of these families would be bringing their most important prized weapons. The bearers of those will be arriving, that kind of thing. So it makes sense for you to go. Do you imagine when you're on the road traveling with Wei, are you yourself, or are you in the disguise? I would assume you're still yourself on the road.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, if it's just Way and I, yeah.
So the two of you have been traveling along, and I think we see the tavern, the inn that is on the road to the estate. That, well, it's been a long, dusty day. You're certainly going to stop off there to have a drink before you continue on, correct?
Yeah, I think care of the dog is probably in order here. I think
Absolutely.
we're nursing a bad hangover from the night before, and I propose, Brian, that we are each traveling on a large basket on one side each of a donkey, and we are resting as we are traveling. And Lowell will know what I'm referencing here.
Absolutely. When you arrive there, the person will take and tie up your donkey, and will say, honored gentlemen, there are tables upstairs if you wish to sit and contemplate and drink with some privacy, and we'll lead you upstairs to sit, and cups of wine are brought.
I would love nothing more.
Sounds good. Kindly blink a little softer, please,
Oh.
Mr. Servant. I
Yes.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Wipes their hands. Uncle Lon, this is a kind of chaotic time. Lots of things have happened. You've heard some rumors of threats of people that might not want this wedding to happen, but certainly you do. I mean, that this is important to your nephew, to who you guard, and so on. But a message is passed to you that says that there is someone who knows of a particular plot against your nephew, and they ask for you to meet them at this tavern outside of town today to pass you the information and give you the names of those involved in this conspiracy. So you gotten yourself and your nephew been like, oh, you're heading out, Uncle?
Just a bit, nephew. I've got a few last minute gifts for you and your beautiful bride, and they just so happen to be in a tavern.
Yes, Uncle, you will make it back in time, though, right? You will arrive here tomorrow, back by tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yes, nephew, I will be here for you and your beautiful bride and your wonderful wedding. And I hold his face in my hand, and I said,
Just
Yes.
thank you.
Look at how much you've grown since you're a little one. Are you sure you don't want any plum wine to prepare yourself for you? Then I will return.
I will settle my nerves in another way. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be back, nephew. Don't you worry. I'm always there for you. And we're gonna hobble a bit on the on my staff while he's in view. Yeah. And,
eventually you get out of eyesight, and I assume your stance and your step changes at that point.
Yeah, it starts to flow a little more.
And we will see you come to this roadside inn. It is, on the direct route to the estate. You will go inside, and one of the servants there comes over to you, indicating that he knows who you are, and will gesture to this table off to the side for you to sit, and says, they will be here soon to speak with you.
I think because of that, his move of associating with the salt of the earth, it's like an old friend, and he kind of stumbles in a bit and plops himself down. Let me know when they're here, and I put down my hat a bit and slump against the chair.
Absolutely. Let me cut to Delon. Delon, what is your purpose in going to this wedding? Like, what does Delon want? Is it to speak with the person that she loves, or is it something else?
Yeah, it's to speak with Jaylon, and hopefully more will come of that. But
Hopefully more. And you have been traveling along the road. When the wind shifts and you pick up a scent that draws you up short, because you are very, very sensitive to the smell of poisons and venoms. And you smell that on the wind. It's a little bit off-road. Do you want to go and investigate?
yes, I would want to know what the source is if there's nothing apparent.
You will walk off the road a little ways into the brush and woods, and you will see a set of bodies, perhaps half a dozen, laid out. You can see the marks of the viper on them. The wounds are running a little bit green with the venom from that. They are dead.
All of them are dead?
Yeah. Do you want to make a study roll?
Yes.
Okay. So first roll. What element do you want to roll to like study? You're going to get some information, and then you're going to get some hold to ask questions and make declarations. What do you want to roll with?
So what the downside of rolling with something is that it might then
If you
not be
roll a
available.
miss, there's a chance I'll say you should mark that element.
Okay. I'll go with water.
Okay. So let's have you roll with a +1. So we have a automated roller. Let me copy that, which you can use, or you can roll your own dice at home. I am good either way.
So I should be doing a 2D +1, right?
2D +1.
No, 2d6. I have to check the 6. There we go. So 4.
So that is a 4. So I think you'll see that these are all murdered clearly by someone using serpent venom. And I think that they are well beyond even your skill. You have that 5 deadly venoms, and perhaps if you've been able to get here in time, you might have been able to save them, but they're all dead.
It's too late.
But I think the only thing that you will like notice here is that they are all dressed like they are servants in a tavern. They're all wearing aprons and things like that, and they all have the look, and they're still slightly warm, so they're not dead long.
All right. And there's nothing else with them,
No, not that you
carts
see
or
here.
anything.
And I think
anything.
perhaps it's that you realize that there is a tavern very nearby, and these are likely the
Yes.
servants from there.
Yes. So then I would want to proceed to the tavern. If there's nothing more I can learn here.
You will rise up, gather yourself together, and head off at speed down the road. Meanwhile, Wei, Baoxi, cups are put in front of you. Like when the servant comes, they put down like 3 cups of wine. Like you seem like people who really want to have a drink, so they are giving you all the drinks that you could require.
Keep
And
the
then,
wine flowing.
oh, we will. Is there anything else that you need, good gentlemen?
Shark fin soup.
I will speak to the chef. It may be a bit, but we'll look to see if we can have that for you.
Make it 2.
2, and for you, good sir, looks at you, Wei.
Just some dumplings would do fine for me.
Excellent. We'll see about that.
And I will. I know we're sort of in a more private area, but I am sort of looking about and seeing what action is taking place in this tavern for a little more fun later.
Yeah, I think one of the things is yeah, I don't know if it's an insult or maybe it's a compliment to give you the space you need, but he's definitely put you and Baoxi up here on the 2nd floor, kind of away from things, so you have some privacy. But you can kind of walk down. There are some people downstairs, and I think I'm going to cut to Uncle Lon. Uncle Lon, you've been kind of waiting, and then you hear a couple of familiar voices from up above, from the 2nd floor, of Wei and your good friend Baoxi. Do you want to remain here, or do you want to go up and speak to them? What business do they have here?
Yeah, I think as soon as Uncle Lon hears 2 shark fin soup, brother, but I think I'm going to wait down here because he's more in the disguise of I need to find out what's going to happen with my nephew, and that's very, very important. More than drinking with my old friend, which is super important too. But
yeah. So you're watching the area. It feels to me like you're trying to get a sense of what's going on. Shall we have you roll study?
Yes.
What do you want to roll that with? And if I'm pushing hard towards moves, it's just so we can get some mechanics on the table here.
I think he's in a roll with some more calculating. It would be
roll with metal or
earth? Metal. Sorry, metal.
Okay.
That I was trying to think of. And his. Make sure I have the right modifiers. My metal, of course, my metal is -1.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead and roll.
Too sober for this. Okay. And that's clicking the 2d6?
Yeah, if you click 2d6, and then we'll subtract the 1 from it. That's the easiest way. Look at you.
Oh,
what
goodness.
is my goodness. So the way that study works in this game is you've got 2 hold, and you can use that to ask questions about people, about situations. If you have an opponent there, you can ask what their scale is, like if they're on your scale or if they're better than you. But you can also make declarations like, here's a thing I see, or here's a thing that's going on. That's also available to you. So you've got 2 hold. What do you want to know?
You know, actually, and this isn't to metagame or anything, but
yeah,
because he's so salt of the earth with the people. I would like to know if the person that sat me down, did they look familiar?
I think the thing that will strike you now that you have a chance to kind of you've got really eye the person who sat you down and the other people around here. You're used to the servant folk and the people who take care of things. You probably know some people around here. They are not that. They're something else. And certainly your suspicion is raised here.
And you said how many holds?
You got 2 hold.
2 hold. And the other one would be if I did notice that somebody is new. I think people in the world of martial arts always look for their. I'm studying the people around me. Are they moving with any sort of grace that belies like, oh, you're a trained, or you're just newly hired?
So most of the people that are in here are troops. Like you can tell that they have their blades close at hand and cleavers, but they're hidden under things. They're clearly here. But one of these people moves with kind of a sinuous grace. And I think that with some shock, you will realize you recognize that this person has the stance and the approach of someone from the Many Venom sect, an orthodox group of killers.
Oh my goodness, what a bachelor party.
Let me cut to Delan. Delan, you approach this tavern. You're heading that way, and you will see that there's some people outside. And as you approach, one of them kind of waves you off and says, there's a private party. You should move on.
Let's see, I think I was. Right. No, I try to tell them that, no, I think I'm expected here.
Interesting, like make them think that you're in on whatever is going on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're definitely a wuxia. They have some of the people here. Let's have you roll hearts and minds.
All
Try
right.
and convince them.
So I roll two, I don't know.
2d6. And what element do you want to roll that with? What do you think is the approach you're taking in trying to convince them that you're actually a part of what's going on?
I'll go with metal, I guess.
Yeah, that's calculation. You're sharp thinking. Let's have you roll that.
Ooh. 11.
11. So you kind of, do that gesture and they go, all right. And they will say, you should, there are more enemies inside. 2 strangers have arrived besides the target. The other masters are outside. The Viper is inside along with the troops. So we'll kind of gesture for you to head on.
I will do so then.
Okay. Then Uncle Lon, I think as you were kind of realizing the gravity of the situation, you will see a silhouette in the doorway, and you see your friend Delan. And the staff and things are kind of like they are startled, like this is another person, and they were supposed to stop people from coming in. What do you say, Uncle Lon?
If yes, if they'd noticed me, then I'll call over to Delan and I said, wave over at a random person. I said, another cup. Delan, sister, come join me. But I'm hurriedly going, get over here. Get over here.
Yeah, I calmly make my way over there, not looking hurried, and when I get there, I tell him that
Servant comes over, kind of shaking the little wine cup, maybe a little more nervous than they ought to be. They'll set it down in front of you. I think that's the point at which, Delan, you can smell the fragrance of the poison off this cup.
yes.
Here you go, gracious master.
Thank you. I just push it in front of me and don't sip from it. And when the servant's gone, I tell Uncle Lon, I don't think the wine here is very good.
What? It smells beautiful and fragrant to me, but there is something strange going on, Delan. Everyone here seems, there's quite a few new people, and I know I know your style, correct, Delan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that I see somebody here from the Many Venoms sect.
Is there anybody within earshot of us, or
I assume you're trying to keep yourself quiet. They are
Yes.
clearly gathering themselves together to figure out how to murder both of you.
Okay.
Yeah. And as Uncle Lon is saying it, there's somebody here from the Many Venoms sect. And another
Yes,
thing, and he's like waving this glass in front of his lips.
Disposed of the previous staff. They are here to kill you.
I'm going to cut upstairs because neither your dumplings nor your shark fin soup has arrived yet.
Uh,
And the servants are gone. Like they gave you all that wine, and nobody's come up here to provide you with anything since then.
Such slow service. I'll have a talk with whoever's in charge here.
Oh, yes, please. This is insufferable. I think at this point, PbtA has taken off his rice patty hat. It's on the table, and he has his fan out.
So I saunter down the stairs to see what's going on.
Think you'll kind of get halfway down the stairs, and you will see there are a couple of servants who are standing at the bottom of the stairs, kind of clearly maybe trying to without drawing too much attention, block your way.
I'm
Sorry, we spilled something. It would be a second while we clean these steps, Master. If you go back upstairs.
Oh, but did you spill the shark fin soup that we've been waiting for?
Yes, that is what was spilt. Oh, we apologize sincerely for this mistake. It will be a moment.
And the dumplings too?
Yes. Quite a mess.
There's quite a lot of spilling going on in this establishment. I'd have a word with someone.
I think, can we say that PbtA has heard this?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they spilled their dumplings. I am starving. It won't be the first time I've eaten food off the floor. Step aside. I will help you clean. I think I will saunter my way over there and see if I can't push him a little bit.
So now, Delon, you will see that the sort of the troop servants have kind of gathered around the base of the stairs there as your two friends are kind of trying to force their way through. And you can see that like it is about to go down. You feel we've got these troops there. Delon, you realize there are a couple of these many venom assassins that are outside. They're clearly going to come in, and this manager type is clearly one of them. And like everybody is reaching their hands towards blades, like it is about to happen.
Yeah, I will likewise prepare for this conflict that's coming. I'll stand
Absolutely.
up.
Chair goes back. Uncle Lon, what do you do?
I am he's silly, so he still will keep his secret. So I am acting very like, whoa, but my staff is getting ready to assist Delon. Like if somebody approaches, like push them. If somebody's coming that they can't see, trip them, but it'll be a lot of, oh, Delon, what's happening?
So I know Delon, right? Do
Yeah.
I see her standing?
Yes, she has stood up with some vigor.
Ah, an old friend. I must say the service here is quite questionable, but I'm sure your presence will brighten my day.
I think it's quite clear to everyone what's going to go down at
Yes.
this point, right? Okay. And Wei saying that, I said, I think I put my hand on him and I say, Wei, there are no dumplings coming. This is a trap. And I think I have my my rice patty hat in my hand, and I think that I will chuck it across the room, and it will hit one of the people that is about to engage Delon.
Okay, so
No dumplings and a trap. This day keeps getting worse.
I think that cry, people standing up, the throwing of the hat will there's an explosion from up on that second floor. You'll hear a crash as somebody comes up behind Wei Baozi. You'll see this figure has this serpent mask on, and they are kind of coming up behind you. Those troops in front of the two of you. The manager moves over to try and get at Uncle Lon. and this other figure with a serpent mask comes crashing through the front window and moves to engage you, Delon. So we have these figures. So tell me, let's start with the stairway here. You have a named wuxia assassin coming from behind, but you've also got this big group of troops. Wei, who do you want to deal with?
I'd like to try, as this assassin is coming at me from the top of the stairs, to coax them to lunge towards me and then dive beneath and send them tumbling down the stairs into the massed troops below.
All right. So that still feels like your goal in the end is to take care of the troops. So let's have you roll deal with troops.
Perfect. And I think this feels like water to me.
Excellent. That is your style element, right? Because you
It
always
is
roll this
not.
with your style element.
Oh, I'm using style, then I'd be fire.
Yes.
It feels very fiery too. Even better, I get a larger bonus. It is a 9.
That is a 9. So tell me, how does this send these troops flying? Like what happens there?
Well, as the assassin comes at me, I think, like I said, they tumble a bit down the stairs and may regain their footing, but the troops at the bottom had they'd drawn their weapons, were prepared to strike, and now all of a sudden one of their own is in front of them, and they are confused and fumbling about and trying to get a good angle at me and PbtA, but they no longer have, I'm sort of interposing the hapless assassin between myself and
Absolutely. These troops are scattered, knocked down. PbtA, this assassin rolls to their feet and kind of comes at you, claw hand, scorpion style, and begins to strike clearly to take you out. Do you wish to engage him?
Yes, I think I'm going to try to avoid him first and put myself in a more favorable position. If I picture this in the way that I've seen it on television, this is like an inn/tavern.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think that in the middle of this building there is a rope and a pulley system where they would hang clothes of the guests.
Okay.
And I think we're going to hear the fluttering of robes as Baut goes like, and like jumps up on top of these ropes impossibly and begins running down the room toward Uncle Lon. And I think from his position up there, he will try to engage.
Okay. So this is duel. This foe is on your scale. So you may go ahead and roll using your style element.
Okay. Is it cool that we're fighting like on this rope on top?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like when you kind of do that, he'll leap up there.
That's great.
Balance as well, and is doing that towards you, trying to hit you with these sharpened fingernails that you guess are coated with a venom.
Oh, that is great. I will be doing things like grabbing onto the rope and like dodging by like spinning around. And I will tell him that his venom style is no match for my clothesline. So and I am rolling 2d6s plus my fire.
Your fire.
And the move I'm triggering here is duel?
Is duel, and your scale is the same as your foes.
All right. I've rolled a 6.
You've rolled a 6. So there is that moment when you do that and kind of spin up again. Now, before I go too much further, you can always spend a bond to bump yourself up by 1 if you want to spend one of those to get yourself to a 7 to 9.
Or I could also spend one, right?
If you have a bond with PbtA, you could do that. Yes.
Yeah. I'll do that. I don't know what that looks like narratively, but
yeah, like how do you help?
I go, Bussy, don't forget these. And I throw the fans to you while you're up on the clothesline.
That's great. I love it.
So kind of knocks, you catch those and kind of knock his hands back. So in a 7 to 9, you can choose to win at a cost, narrate how you lose and mark XP, or deadlock, in which case you can reveal a detail or ask a question.
Ooh, I want this person to cause problems later. So
Okay.
I think I beat him, and they know that they're outmatched, and so they escape.
Yeah, what does that look like? He's rolling in on you, coming at you with these sharpened nails. Like, what is the blow that you land that sends him flying off this clothesline?
Yeah. So does he have like nails, like one in each finger
Yeah.
type of thing? Okay. Yeah, I think we are engaging on the clothesline. And I think that he is moving toward me closer and closer. And I am beating him back with the fans. And I think right at the moment that he looks like he has me, like I slap one of his hands, and like they go flying off to the wall, and I think we get like a perfect shot of like, yeah,
Yep.
like all of them, right? And then I do the same with the other hand, and then we get it on the other wall. And then of course there's a dramatic close-up on his face. And then I think that's when he backflips and then like flies out a window.
Yeah, catches onto the beam above and acrobatics out. Delan, these troops have been dealt with. This assassin that came down from above, but this figure has leapt in from the doorway towards you, and you will see it produce serpents. It gestures and they he looks like he's going to throw them at you. What do you do?
I will try to tangle his arm so he can't do that. With
Okay. So this is dueling. You're still trying to lock him up to get control of him. What's your element?
my element for my style is metal.
Yeah. Okay, then go ahead and roll with metal.
5.
A 5. That's a 5 total. Now you do have a couple of bonds there. If you want to spend both of them, you could get yourself to a 7, or you could take the hit.
Well, would I be able to also assist and spend a bond
Yes, you could.
with Delan?
Yeah, you could spend 1, and then Delan, if you wanted to spend another bond, you could do that to get to 7 and 9.
Sure.
So what does that look like, Lon, when you assist?
I think, well, I was saying that he's bumbling around, acting like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? And he almost drunken master style flips over the seat, and as he rolls to come up, his staff comes up and knocks the assassin's arms up into a better position for Delan to wrap them up in.
Yeah. So Delan, what does it look like when you kind of strike at them to take them down when you've got that opening?
So I'm aiming with my rope dart to tangle up their arms, and then with the dart peg it to the door frame near them.
Perfect. So you got a 7 to 9. So you need to choose what you want. Do you want this? Do you want to win at a cost? Do you want to lose, have him and mark XP, or do you want to deadlock with them where you get to say something or ask a question?
I'll go with win at a cost.
Okay. So what do you want? Do you want to mark an element of your choice? Do you want them to escape or something else?
I'll go with mark an element.
Okay.
Because I think
Yeah. So I think what it is like you get them wrapped up and pin them back, but there is that moment when one of these serpents lands its fangs into you. That's no problem for you because you can immediately
Oh,
deal with that, but it still hurts. What element do you want to mark?
I can choose any.
Yeah, you can choose any.
I'll go with earth.
Makes
Throw
sense.
my focus a bit off.
Yeah, a little unbalancing when you did, but you do. Oh, and they're kind of pinned back against that. Uncle Lon, these your other friends are engaged in these fights when this assassin comes after you, and he comes in, and you can see that he has like this tattoo of a spider on his palm. Now he's kind of pulled off the cover for that, and it looks like he's trying to do this spider palm on you to poison you. What do you do? How do you deal with this and still like
and still remain?
Yeah.
I think Uncle Lon I back up and I'm like, whoa, calm down. And but that's just to get into position with a larger table that has a big bowl of like shared hot soup. And with that, I will swoop it up and put it up in front of me like, oh, wait. But it's really to dip his hands in this hot soup and extinguish his poison.
Perfect. Let's have you roll duel. He is on your scale right now.
Okay. And I'm going to do that with,
what's your style element?
With water.
Okay.
+2. In this case, water is soup.
It makes sense. Boxcars. So there is that thing where you pull, like I imagine that there's actually like a fire going with the big bowl of soup there, and you grab that up, and before he can stop himself, when he throws his hands forward, he catches himself there, and there'll be that scream he will let out, and he will stagger back with his hands burnt, and is crying out. Do you want to finish him or show mercy?
I think because as silly as he is, he knows that these, not they were trying to assassinate them, but must be some conspiracy to harm his nephew. So I'm going to finish him. And that's spinning around, catching him, holding him, and making him drink the rest of the hot soup, which I know must be poisoned as well.
Absolutely.
Everything in here seems to be poisoned.
Yeah, you'll pour it down because of and he will drop. And then there's just the few of the troops that are kind of getting up and running out the doors, and this assassin pinned against the wall there, struggling to get out, but Delon has them at rope dart point. Then let's take 5 for our first break, or second break, and we'll come back with you figuring out how you want to deal with this guy and finding out information. Okay, so take 5. So I think we get like a scene that's kind of almost even a flashback of you questioning this person, and he will say, we were hired anonymously. We were told gold was to be paid to us. The clan was hired, and we were to kill. And kind of gestures to Uncle Lon. I don't know why they wanted us to kill this bumbling fool, but that was what we were being paid to do. They said he would be here at this time at this location.
It's a good thing you had warrior friends around when it happened.
It's always good to have you around, Wei, and Delon, and brother Baozi. Who did? Have you seen a face, assassin? Who is?
No.
name.
Speaks truthfully. We were paid anonymously.
Who would want to kill just a doddering old man?
Bessie?
Yeah, I have a pretty strong feeling that this is Iron Lion, probably, right? Like, would
That's
that make sense?
certainly your unfounded suspicion.
Indeed. I would like to. Well, I think I have proof, at least, that he's already betrayed him, right? I think we set that up in the.
You believe you have proof.
I see. I have learned that my friend Lon has been betrayed. Okay, so at least I believe that. Okay, I would like to study any of the troops left behind or any of the darts.
Sure.
To
Let's
see.
have you make a study roll. What do you
Yeah,
want to roll
I'm
that
trying
with?
to incriminate Iron Lion here. I'm hoping that I can.
Okay.
And I roll with anything but my combat element.
You can roll
right?
with anything,
Oh boy.
but if you roll with your combat element, you're putting that at risk.
You know what? This is worth the risk. We're gonna unmask.
I love it when people
Iron
say
Lion.
that. That is the best.
That's not ominous at all.
No.
Ooh, a 10.
10. So you get 2 hold. You
All
can
right.
ask questions or make declarations.
Oh, I'm gonna make declarations here. There is unrefutable evidence that Iron Lion was behind this.
Tell me what that irrefutable evidence is, though.
I think that this assassin is being questioned, and I think that I will lean in and I will whisper something in his ear that no one else can hear, but I tell him, speak truth now, or you will face the wrath of the typhoon instead of your employer. And we get another dramatic close-up as his eyes go wide. And that's when he actually tells us the truth, that it was indeed Iron Lion that hired him.
He does crack, and he says, we had to do this before the wedding. We were hired by the father, the father of the groom.
Oh no. Lon, I am totally shocked by this.
Lon's world is crumbling already. We come from a family where the style is to protect one another and hand the style. There's no way I believe that my brother betrays the ethics of my family. So Lon is he's mourning like a family member has died.
Well, it is a good thing that we have a move for this, because it feels like you're conflicted. It feels like you're struggling with this. So
yes,
you get to mark XP, and then you have to roll inner conflict. And you can roll inner conflict, oh my God, what's going on, with anything except your style element.
Okay.
I'd offer you some wine, but that you may not want to drink it.
I know he's reaching for it, and no. Okay, so I will roll with. He's conflicted. Awareness, wood, patient with curiosity, Earth, which is a 0, and. Is that right? That's 12 again?
That's another 12. Yes.
I am this. All right.
I've never seen the roller.
Right. That's why I was like, wait a minute, am I just looking at the last one that I did? Okay.
So you keep it together. You don't mark an element. You don't feel like you have to. You keep yourself from retreating here. And I think we see the a look of seriousness, perhaps for a moment, on your face, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's. I think with Lon, there's like a crying and heartbreak, but there's maybe a reflection of past deeds and past words said that he brushed off about Iron Lion, as just being, oh, that's my older brother, just being a fuddy-duddy. But the more that he focuses in, and the more that maybe a time with Bausi, it comes together, and as it kind of comes together, the look of warmth in his eyes starts to blaze hotter, and the fact that somebody within the bloodline betrays the ethics of our upbringing is hardening him.
Let me, before I come back to you, I want to check with the other two who are here in the scene. Delon, what's your reaction to all this? I mean, you have some recriminations here against your friends a little bit. Now you see this go on. What are you feeling?
I think I'm surprised that they betrayed him, but because I'm not part of the family, it's not the same conflicted about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just not what she would have expected, but it feels more believable.
And no sense that, all of these secrets that have been hidden, maybe is this a comeuppance? Or does that not even occur to you? You're a wise person, so I don't know how you're reacting in that.
I think it's not really a comeuppance, but it's not like she knows that Lon is more than he seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so this means, I guess, that there are more people who know what's going on with Lon.
Yeah.
And she feels even more on the outside there.
I think that is perfect. And Wei, what's your thought about this? This certainly complicates the upcoming nuptials.
I can't believe that Righteous Jade's father would do something like this. This wedding has more twists and turns than I ever would have expected. And it is good that I'm here. The last part he thinks to himself.
Okay.
The first part he probably says out loud.
Bausi, you had something you want to say?
Indeed. I will see Uncle Lon's fire in his eyes, and I will approach him, and I will say, old friend, you were betrayed in the worst way. I am here to lend you my hand to do anything that you wish to do to bring justice. And I will look at Wei. I will give Wei a dramatic look as he is standing behind Uncle Lon.
The look was received.
And I'm going to do that wipe cut to the four of you arriving at the estate, kind of having a chance to travel and maybe talk, and we can always flash back to the conversation. But I think we see the estate. It is made up, beautiful red banners, gold decorations. We see marks of all of the various clans who have brought their banners to honor this this joining of two important factions. We see different color cloth and clothing and marking the different orders who are here. There's kind of the chaos that is the day before a wedding, where people are setting things up, flowers are being put out, food is being prepared, guests are arriving. There's all of that commotion as you arrive there. And I think when you are coming in, you will see kind of standing at the front gate, you will see Peerless Zalan, who is there, who is clearly talking with some people about preparations and sees you approaching, looks first at Delan and kind of a small bow of her head, and then she'll turn to see Wei, and there's maybe a little shake of head there. Bao Shi, are you in as yourself, or did you have to leave and put this disguise on, or are you going to put this disguise on later?
I am coming in disguised.
So how did you do that in front of your Uncle Lon and Delan?
I would like to flash back.
Yes.
And go ahead.
If I can jump in, I can imagine I could have distracted them too.
I think we have the perfect opening now to bring in Uncle Lon into this, and since Delan and Lon look like they are close, I'm banking on bringing Delan into this and bringing our team from 2 to 4 all aligned.
All right.
And so I'm going to prompt Uncle Lon to speak his desires for revenge, and if not, then I might try to persuade him to voice that's what he wants. So I mean, clearly you're on the edge there.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I say, I mean, I want to. I think, brother, my family won't believe just my words. He needs to be exposed in the middle of the wedding.
I am glad that you bring this up, Uncle Lon. I bring disturbing news, even worse than the ones that you have just heard. And Baozi will pull out a letter. You see, for Iron Lion has left no evidence behind, and so Typhoon's Wrath has had to create a evidence. This is a forged letter that says that Iron Lion has been using his family's secret weapon for his own gains.
Is this the other hold that you're spending to do this declaration? Is that what that is?
I am using my move.
Ooh, that makes sense.
When you have set a trap for someone, do a thing.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's see. So
traps, when you reveal a trap that you have secretly set. Roll.
Okay. So let's have you roll to see whether this is a good trap or not.
I am going to once again look at Wei and give him a knowing look, like, please just go with this. Because out of character, I think the roller is about to betray me. There's been too many good rolls.
There've been a lot of good rolls.
I'm going to roll with fire and see how this goes. Oh my gosh, it's a 9.
That is a 9. So you have this trap. You have this documentation that will provide you an opening, provide you fiction that you can use for yourself or for Uncle Lon to call out this exposing of this villain.
I think this is a perfect time to use up my bond that I have with.
Oh, you want to push that to a 10?
Yeah, I want to push that to a 10.
Okay.
And if it's a 10, I also take 2 forward.
+2
against them.
forward when you go to do that.
Yeah. And so I'm I present this to Uncle Lon, and that this weapon is meant to be kept by your family but not used selfishly. Could I pull the table about this weapon and what's so special about it?
Ideas? Is it a sword? Is it a dagger? Is it something else? Like what are you imagining here?
Oh, I just got an idea. Marcus, I'm gonna
Yes.
pitch you that Iron Lion has been teaching your family's fighting style to others outside of the family to build himself an army.
Oh no. Oh, my brother.
That
I am sorry
lies so
out of
much.
character, but I am not sorry in
I know.
character.
Yeah.
So I think we've got some of those pieces like in place. So I want to cut back to that arrival there as Peerless Salon comes forward, not knowing that anything is up, having a little bit of disdain for Wei, not sure who this person is with Wei, and maybe a little bit of disdain for Uncle Lon, but Uncle Lon is a member of the wedding party, so she is at least will give greetings, and she will say, I had heard that you were to be here sooner. Did anything happen on the road? Look towards you, Delon.
Yes, we had a setback at a local tavern.
Oh no! What happened?
We were attacked.
We were able to again, like she steps forward,
yes,
reaches
we're all
out, kind of puts
fine.
her hand on your arm, and then
Yes,
kind of
thank
pulls
you.
it back.
I don't, it's nothing to trouble you. You have enough to worry about with your daughter's upcoming marriage.
Yes. Well, you are all welcome. Things are getting prepared. Uncle Lon is your household, so you may lead the others. I would, though, if I may, speak with Delon later, privately.
Of course.
And she will nod and bow and kind of leave you to your own devices there. So what I typically do here is I want to give a chance for all of you to call scenes, either with an NPC or with another PC, kind of do a once around on that as you arrive here at this location, figure out where you're going, what you're doing in the middle of this. I mean, there are dangerous things afoot, but there are also people that you want to talk to, right? That you need to talk to. So let's actually start with, we're going to save Uncle Lon for last, because Uncle Lon's thing has a lot of implications for what comes next. But let's start with Wei. Wei, when you arrive, who do you want to talk to? What do you want to do?
Well, I want to seek out Righteous Jade.
Okay. So
It's straight to the point here.
Okay, make your way through the household, and you will find Righteous Jade there, and he is speaking with a couple of his servants, and he will look up when you arrive, and he will say, Master Wei.
Jade, it is so good to see you again after so long. I've been away, but I, of course, had to come back to be there for this very important event for you.
It would not be the same without you. I in some ways, I really think that it is you that helped bring us together, that without your presence, your counsel, that Dawning Joy and I would not be wed.
Yes, we were. Yeah, indeed. Well, you know, we were indeed very close in our when we were younger. I sometimes wonder if how life would have been different if we hadn't drifted apart.
Oh, you seem a little conflicted, Wei.
I am a little conflicted. I'm not that conflicted, but I'm conflicted in the sense that I can't just say what I'm thinking.
Well, let's have you roll inner conflict, and let's see what that tells us here.
Okay, so what do I roll? It's a
What anything
what-
except for your style element.
Yeah. This, I'm gonna go with water again. This seems like a time for awareness and understanding. No, it's a 9.
That is a 9. So if you want, you could burn a bond to take that to a 10 and you'd be all fine. Or you could keep the 9 and then you get a choice between marking an element of your choice or fleeing the situation.
You know, since my bond is with Jade himself, this seems like a time to spend it. So let's make it a 10.
So keep yourself together there. And he says, I'm so glad you could return for this.
Yeah. And I'll start saying, do you remember the time way back when we pulled that prank on you know, your Uncle Lon and
Yes.
And you know, basically my goal is to remind him of the good times we had together and maybe rekindle something, and also just to distract him from the duties he's supposed to be doing, even though, you know, he's not. It's the night before the wedding, so he doesn't necessarily have a lot of duties. I don't know, but I'm trying to keep him away from the hustle and bustle and the wedding preparations.
All right. Let's have you roll hearts and minds for that, to get him to kind of come with you, to draw him away from his duty.
Yeah, so you know, I think that would be fire.
Okay.
That's passion. That's an 8.
So I think for the moment you can do that. Like, you're an old friend, and you know, he's recalling that times he didn't really have a bachelor party of any kind. This is a chance for him to speak with somebody he hasn't spoken to in a long time, and he will permit himself to be drawn away. And I imagine that we see the two of you back in a private garden talking, remembering old verses that you composed in your youth. And he looks gorgeous. He's beautiful.
It's true. I saw the picture.
Yeah. He you know, he dabs a little, reaches down into the pond, dabs a little water there to cool his brow, and it glistens there on him. And I think we cut away with you having maybe one of the last chances that you may have before he is wed, if this goes through. Delon, who do you want to talk to? What do you want to do?
She obviously wants to talk to Jaylon.
Okay. Where do you think you find her?
I find her when she has a moment between coordinating all the staff, she's relaxing in a cool tent outdoors.
It's set up for her order. You come in and she looks up and she sees you, and you can see that she's tired, but she sits herself up and she says, I didn't think you would come.
I wouldn't want to miss the wedding.
Your student arrived yesterday and she has been hovering around waiting for you. I did not send word that you had arrived.
I will see to her later. Thank you.
And she kind of stops and she says, I have many duties and obligations here at this time.
Of course. I just wanted to have a moment to congratulate you on your daughter's marriage, and I hope that I might be in the area sometime when you're less busy in the future.
She kind of reaches out her hand and kind of touches the fabric of your sleeve, and she says, I fear that this joining of our two houses may lock me into a role that I do not wish. That what I had hoped for the future may not come to pass.
Yes, I'm concerned too about what the future might hold, and that it might not be the best possible one.
We serve our families.
Yes.
I won't keep you, but perhaps we can speak later.
Yes, I would like that.
And she will nod, and there's probably someone waiting outside to speak with her for yet another thing that she has to approve. And she watches as you leave, and then turns back to the things that need to be signed off for.
I look back once before I'm out of sight, and then go off to meet with the other people I'm familiar with.
Ashi, what are you up to?
I am slowly walking through a courtyard, and there are cherry blossoms falling dramatically right through the wind. And I spy ashen twilight behind a door where you can see her and someone else. And I am able to see through a crack in the door that she is out of her like military uniform, and she is entertaining the bride, and they are both laughing, and they're joyous. There's a zither playing in the background, and Ashen Twilight is putting this magnificent comb in like the bride's hair.
Mm-hmm.
And you see me like about to go in, And then I look to the door where I know Delon is at. And even though I want to talk to Ash and Twilight, I move toward the door to go talk to Delon because I need to make sure that Delon is in on this plan, okay with this plan. And as I move toward the door and I'm about to go in and talk to Delon, and I want a scene with you, Myri, but as I'm about to go talk to Delon, I think that's when Ash and Twilight and the bride Dawning Joy come out together. And then there's this like slow motion moment where, you know, she and I make eye contact. And for a moment, I wonder if we could really make this work, if this isn't madness, and I could just leave it all behind and go against my faction's wishes and just be with Ash and Twilight. And I think I'm feeling a little conflicted.
Yeah, let's have you roll inner conflict.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do that. Okay. Here we go. So it's 2d6 plus any of
What do you want to roll with? Anything about your style
yeah.
element?
Yeah. And then
What do you think is governing your feelings right now?
Oh man. I think uncertainty.
Okay.
Probably. So I think water.
Yeah, let's have you roll.
Okay, yeah. Oh, beautiful. It's a 4. I missed.
What is the mark, the sign, the sigil, the moment, the thing that shows you as she walks by that tells you that Ash and Twilight is in Iron Lion's service?
I think that, well, I want to go with that, and then I want to make it even worse. Is that okay?
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. I think that I am in disguise, and I think at that moment, Ash and Twilight sees through my disguise. And then on top of that, I find out that she is.
I think there is a thing where she sees you and she draws up to kind of conceal a ring, one that you've seen that Iron Lion has given to those who follow him.
Oh, so
And
she has like been promoted recently.
Something, whether she's been given a guard position or a secret position or something, and then she sees through and she sees that you're in disguise and narrows her eyes, says nothing to you.
Oh God. Oh, the feels. Oh, well, now I have no choice but to talk to Delon.
Yeah, I think we'll cut to you catching Delon just after she's spoken with Peerless. You both look shaken. What do you say?
I think PbtA is gonna get himself together, and I think there's some tea maybe for the guests, or
Yeah,
you know, and I invite Delon to sit with me and talk, and perhaps this jasmine tea will relax us. Delon, you look worse than how I feel.
Yeah. It's been a lot being here. What's your current disguise?
I'm glad you asked. I think that I am disguised as one of Lon's / Iron Lion's family member. I think I'm the oldest family member, And I think there is a sacred book which teaches the step of the 9 ghosts. Is that what it is? Yeah.
8 steps of the ghost. Yeah.
The 8 steps of the ghost. And it's a sacred book that's meant to stay in the family. And it's during the wedding, Iron Lion is going to give it to Righteous Jade. And I am there to do the honors and actually make the transfer and bless it, right? So I'm dressed like an old man.
All right.
Yeah. Although if I feel like it's safe here, perhaps I will remove my facial hair, right? I'd invite you to talk. Delon, I understand why it's complicated for you, but you have to understand that if Iron Lion continues to teach his sacred family's way to others, that the entire martial world will be upside down, and we cannot allow that to happen.
Yes. And what is your plan?
I must get close enough to that book. And once I do, I will have irrefutable evidence that it has been used. And you must make sure that that no one stands in my way.
I see.
So I want to know how Delon feels about this plan.
She doesn't have, like, she's fine with it, I think, because she's so, like, yeah, I think she's not especially fond of Iron Lion after the attack on her friend, even though she has complicated feelings about him and all that, but that she is willing to assist.
Okay, let's raise the stakes. What would be a thing that would make sense that the Typhoon's Wrath or that Baozi would ask that would cause Delon to be conflicted?
If Shalon was put at risk, obviously that would lead to her being conflicted. That she would not want to harm Shalon, certainly not physically, and yeah.
And what is Jalon's relationship to Uncle Lon's family and Iron Lion's family?
She's with the bride. She's the bride's mother, clan chief.
I see. Okay. Yeah, let's involve her too. What, I think I will say,
Like, perhaps she's aware of this plan and sees it as a way to bolster her clan.
Yeah, I think maybe they're looking to combine forces here, and I think the wedding will,
Basically, if I may suggest, I think what you're doing, this plan is going to embarrass her deeply. What you're doing threatens to expose and cause her embarrassment and loss of face and loss of status amongst the wuxia. If this comes to pass, Delon, that she will be deeply, deeply hurt.
Yes. And so Devon does not want to see Javon hurt. So
Can we also say that there's maybe a history of violence, and so they might physically they might lash out, and they might also, you know, maybe the typhoon's wrath will squelch whatever backlash there will be. If that's okay with you, and if it makes sense, Lowell, with the tropes and everything, I think Baozi will be transparent and say, I don't want to lie to you. If Peerless Zalon bucks, you know, from this, then I can't guarantee anyone's safety.
She's dear to me, and I don't want to see her come to ill. And is there any other way you could address your internal struggles with the typhoon?
If I can have your loyalty in this matter, I will call a meeting with the Typhoon's Wrath, and I will tell them to spare her and her people as much as possible. It will come at a great cost, but I will do it if I can have your word.
I want to cut on that note. I'm going to cut from there with that like unanswered question out there, because we need to know what Uncle Lon does when he comes back.
So many scene ideas. And I want to ask your opinion, Lowell. I had two scene ideas, and one of them was confronting my brother now, but I feel that there's still some scenes left that everybody should have before we. So, but time-wise, what do you think?
I think we've clearly got that sort of confrontation as the high point. And we've established that it needs to kind of happen during the ceremony. So I think we're going to have that as the thing, because the only way that this works for you is if it is done publicly, even though you don't want that to happen. So I think we need to do something in terms of how you want to set that, or who you need to talk to before that, who you need to warn, or who you need to get on your side.
I think then it's a scene of where now he's just hot-headed, and he is storming in. He sees his brother being the proud father, the groom, welcoming guests and whatnot, and he's headed straight for him. And the thought of a plan and exposure and all of that stuff leaves. He's just going to fight his brother in the middle of this banquet, and then he hears a voice of Magistrate's son, and she calls out to Uncle Lon, and he stops moving forward, and instantly we go from his kind of fiery eyes to soft and warm again, and he sees her, and she was just calling out to say, you know, hi, and what a wonderful wedding this is. But he realizes, oh, if I let the magistrate in on a bit of this, then it not only is something for the family and our honor, but it's also legal, you know. And he then veers off the course and approaches her, and maybe it's a scene of them on walking on like a stone arched bridge. You know,
You seem intense.
mm,
Something the matter?
I'm sorry, Magistrate. It was I had a stressful morning, and
I understand there was some sort of attack, as I heard.
there was at the inn. He looks around and puts his arm out to walk with her, and he says, "Magistrate son, I have something heartbreaking to tell you. The attack at the inn was to assassinate me."
Assassinate you? Who? Why? I don't understand.
I don't either. It's something that breaks the code of my clan. And he looks over, and his eyes kind of trail over, and he's now focused on Iron Lion. And he says, "Magistrate, I fear my brother sent those assassins for me."
And she'll pause. That is a serious accusation that you make.
We have proof, and I was advised by good friends that we should expose him instead of, and I was on my way to kill him.
And she says to you, "You have proof."
We do.
Where is this proof?
It's in safe hands.
And who have you told?
They are. No, he's in love with her. He will say. He will say, my best friend, my brother Bautzi, Wei, and Delan. And that is it.
Well, this is a serious matter, and I don't think you should take this into your own hands.
True. It's why I wanted to inform you. I felt that as magistrate, you should be in on this conspiracy, this plot.
Well, I'm glad you shared this with me.
I shared many things with you, Magistrate, and that's where the camera kind of focuses down, and as he is reaching out a hand, it's just a shot of her hand on her, on her fan, and his hand reaching out about to touch her hand.
I want an inner conflict roll from you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little torn, your brother, this magistrate, all these things.
Yeah, it's no time for love.
She's telling you to stand down in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to roll that with?
I think it's metal. I'm going to go with inflexible and unsatisfied at this point. So that's -1 to this roll, which is a 6.
Then I think there definitively is that moment when she reaches out and she touches your hand, and then she kind of draws her hand back, and you look down just before she kind of moves it back out of the way, and you see your brother's sigil on a ring that she wears.
Oh.
But she's moved it quickly to try and conceal. And looks up and plays it completely straight. Well, I will speak with you again.
And sorry, Bill, you said that Lan has seen that. I saw the ring. There is a welling of tears coming, and that Lan looks and says, Yes, magistrate, I will speak to you soon. And there's also this fear. He's like, oh crap, I just told the magistrate my friends are in on this too.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Mhm. So
Let me cut away from that. Wei, you wanted to do a coda onto your scene?
Yeah. So as more time has passed, and Jade and Wei are, having a good time, Jade will say, it has been so wonderful to reconnect with you again. I worry that everything will be so different after this wedding. I tell me truly, how are you feeling about the wedding and dawning joy?
What do you mean?
Is this what you want?
It is my duty.
Your duty to whom?
To my family, to my father, to everyone here who has seen me to this point.
But what of your duty to your heart? And I'll get a little closer.
What are you trying to say?
So I'll go. I regretted not. I regretted pulling away from you way back, and I've never forgiven myself for it. If I could just do this once, and I want to go in for a kiss.
Let's have you roll inner conflict.
Yeah.
You're this stressing as you do this.
Okay, so let's go with wood for curiosity and growth and so on. All right. That's a 7.
So I think he takes the kiss and answers, but then pushes away and says, you are too late. If you'd only, and then he said, trails off. Do you want to mark an element to stay there, or do you want to flee?
Yeah, I'll mark an element to stay there. Let's do wood, since I just rolled it.
And what do you say back to him when he says that?
It may not be too late.
How? Why? What do you know?
There are complex forces at play who've arranged this wedding to be this way, but it doesn't have to be like that. I don't.
What are you not telling me? You wouldn't say before. You wouldn't tell me how you felt before, and that's why we are here. What is it you want to say?
It's your father.
But my father? what and he kind of like that'll pull him away. Like, what are you saying?
There's a lot you don't know about him. He's arranged so much, and he has pursued his pursued means that are dishonorable. Just on the way here, I personally witnessed assassins that he had hired that came after our beloved Uncle Lon.
This is my father. You know nothing. You are a drunkard and a wastrel. You know nothing of a true family. Steps away. He's trying to keep tears.
But I'm so much more.
You want to try and convince him
Yeah, I don't
of
know.
your sincerity.
Is there a rule for that?
That's hearts and minds.
Okay. Well, let's keep going with fire. Why not?
Okay.
There's a lot of passion here. Oh, it's a 7. It's a good thing I went with that.
That is a 7. I think that he will push you away, and he gets angry and overreacts. I think you can write down a bond with him, but he pushes you away, and go. I have things I must attend to, and he will rush off.
Yes. So I will forlornly head off as well and get a drink. But I at least think that it may have gotten to him. So
Yeah,
I don't feel bad about the plan that we have.
Here is a moment where you're going to see me now hard frame something here. Okay. Bausi, Delon, you're talking about this plan in this kind of secluded area. Like, what are we going to do? Delon, you're still trying to decide how you want to respond. Uncle Lon, you realize that you have revealed everything. You need to find your friends, right? So I think we see you rushing through the household. It's dark, the lanterns are on, there's festivities going on, distance, you're finding your way through. And I think we'll find you making your way to this back portion of the estate, looking around to this isolated table where you see Delon, and you see the disguised Bausi, and you know the disguise. So I think we'll see you rush over. Wei, I think you see Uncle Lon running by. Do you follow, or do you shadow, or do you go
I will follow, but I'm gonna take my drink with me.
Okay, got your wine. Bausi, you see Uncle Lon in kind of a like, what's your mood? Like, what do they see? Your attitude, Uncle Lon, when you come towards them?
It's he is distraught, and I think he's definitely heartbroken, but it's more that he's heartbroken that he exposed his plan, putting in danger. Now there's a sense of his chosen family, not his family, and so he's just wild-eyed and running.
And you can rush up to the table. What do you tell them? What do you say?
And I say, he's the villain. Oh, my brother, he has agents everywhere. And I, unfortunately, I'm so sorry, my friends. I have put us all in danger. I have told Magistrate's son of the plan, and she works for my brother, which he doesn't that's trying to spit out that poison of saying that Magistrate's son works for my brother.
You're muted, Cisco. Cisco, you're muted.
I will offer Lon the rest of my drink.
Oh yeah.
You need this more than I do.
Yeah.
The hour draws near, Brother Lon. And
The hour is closer than you think. I think the camera will shift back and you will see Iron Lion there. He has his staff, and you will see he is flanked by 3 figures: Magistrate's Son, Ashen Twilight, and Scholar of Hawks. I did not want to sully my hands with your blood, but times change. And he will step up, and the other 3 do that move where they move slightly apart, hands on weapons.
I'll turn to Lon and say, it is your destiny to avenge the betrayal that has been done to you. I will leave Iron Lion to you.
Thank you. And I say this so Iron Lion can hear, and he said, and I say, thank you, brother. And I stare at him, and the wine is still in my hand, and I say, this is the only wine that I drink from friends, my family. And I drink that, and I put it down, and I get into position. And the body changes now. It's not the drunken style. It's a style that my brother would recognize. It's our 8 steps of the ghost style, which is much more Tai Chi in form.
And he gets into his dance. The others move. Magistrate's Son moves to intercept Wei. Scholar of Hawks moves towards you, Delon. And Ashen Twilight moves towards you, Baoshi. And your brother, Iron Lion, says, then let that be your last drink. And they will charge forward. So let's go through and resolve these clashes here. Wei, this magistrate comes rushing up towards you.
Yeah, and quicker than anyone can even see, I pull out my spear, which I had strapped to my back, and get some distance, twirled around a few times, and then charge forward at the magistrate, and basically try to deliver some pinpoint strikes with the shaft of the spear to send her reeling back. I'm not trying to kill her, but I'm trying to overwhelm her with the speed and ferocity of my fighting style.
And she is using these kind of paired batons, and she's fast. And the first flurry of strikes she's catching and throwing you back and using your momentum kind of against you. How do you shift and regain your footing from that?
I think I recognize my surroundings, this garden, and as I've I think I'm a little off balance, and I end up falling into one of the nearby ponds. And as she comes over to look at where I fell, I leap out the other end, land behind her, and deliver a precision strike.
Absolutely. We're going to have you roll that duel in a moment. We're going to set up everybody's before we get the resolution. Bauxi, Ashen Twilight approaches, saber out, coming in, sees your disguise. You can see that maybe there's an anger at your deception, an anger at all this, and she comes in and she is pushing you back with a flurry of these strikes. So how do you deal with this like initial onslaught?
I think it's going to be a lot of dodging and a lot of defensive movements. I think it's going to look like I am just standing and I have just my hand in my pocket and I'm trying to talk to her and I'm just sort of sidestepping and she is tearing through the wall. We're actually, you know, if it's okay with you, the fight is actually going to like in a dramatic moment, I will fly back and we will both end up in the courtyard with the cherry blossoms dramatically blowing through as we face each other. And I think I will be trying to speak sense into her and say, you do not know who you serve, and I know you to be an honorable member of the martial world, and you must listen to me.
I think we hear that desperation in your voice, your desire for this to happen as she closes in, and we'll come and resolve and see how that goes. Delan, a furious scholar of hawks, comes charging at you, and she says, "You ignored me. You overlooked me. You looked to others. I was always there." And she's coming at you, throws the rope dart out, like knocks yours aside, and then swings back and does that and comes in again. And it's that coming past you with that line, pulling things forward. How do you try to, I mean, she knows your style. You've taught her, but she's got some moves that you haven't seen. How do you counter that?
I try to defensively move out of the way, parry it when I can, set up so there's obstacles between me and her that she has to rope around.
What are you pulling in the way? Like what are you throwing? What are you doing with the obstacles? What kind of thing?
If they're lanterns on poles or any.
Yeah, you can
like
grab those, wrap them with the rope,
those.
bring those down, throw them in front of her. They kind of catch on fire, and she has to dodge those. And she's rolling and moving over towards you, trying to get at that moment here. Like, what do you do to kind of like change the momentum of the fight to get the advantage here after you've kind of held her back?
While I've been doing this, I ask her, do you know the kind of man you serve? He sent assassins after his brother. And I'm trying to see if I can throw her off balance while finding some way to get her more tangled up. And so, you know,
you're shouting out,
tangled up and
shouting out these accusations. You're working with the rope, trying to get her into position. We'll come back and we'll see how that goes. Uncle Lon, there is no drunkenness in either of your stances. He moves in and he says, there is much that I have learned beyond our style, and I will show that to you now. And then he is like a whisper up by you, and with the staff kind of hits you, lifts you off your feet, knocks you, like you come crashing down on that table. Wine goes flying out, and he is now moving over to try and finish that blow. How do you get out of that, and how do you change the tempo of this?
Neat. So Uncle Lon taste that first blow, the hesitation of really not wanting to fight his brother, and it knocks that sense into him, and he slips past as Iron Lion comes crashing down, and I say, "You have learned many things, brother, but you have not learned faithfulness to our family. You have betrayed," and I will list many ancestors, and with each one, I'm kind of dodging his blows, making him angrier, and we're now almost, the crouching tiger, we're flying now, and past up over the house. I'm trying to goad him and lure him into the main portion of the banquet where all the guests and everyone is.
There's that moment on the rooftop when he's got angry and he says, "I should have killed you years ago, but she stopped me. She stopped me."
You're the one that killed Auntie.
Yes. And then there's that push. And I think we see the two of you fighting in the sky and kind of coming down in the middle of that courtyard. And we'll resolve that in just one moment. Wei, roll your duel. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it. Oh no. That's Snake Eyes. It's a 4.
That is a 4. I think that you are there and you kind of move to strike. She turns, kind of knocks you back, and like she was expecting you, and then she strides forward and she goes for that killing blow. And then you see this blur and you see this figure jump in the way. And you see Righteous Jay and falls down into your arms.
No.
Having taken the blow for you.
Jade, no.
We'll come back to you in just one moment. Baoji.
Okay. We have had like the best choreographers here for this fight. Okay. The cable work is off the hook. I think that we will get a shot of the camera from 2 different angles, right? And we're spinning as we're there ready to fight. And PbtA will say the 10 courts of hell are empty and all her devils are here. And there will be a dramatic movement of the trees, and he will say the tempest comes. That is the sign that the typhoon's wrath are already on their way. And we will engage in a fight, and it will be dramatic, and it will be amazing, and we will be considered for an Oscar, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
at least for choreography, if nothing else.
At least for choreography. And I would
Let's
like to
have you roll your duel.
Okay. All the while I am talking and trying to persuade her. Oh my gosh, I got an 11. Okay.
So what happens? Do you persuade her?
I think that I have been playing defensively here this entire time. And I think she says, there is nothing that you can say that will change my mind. And I think at that moment, that's what he realizes that what he has to do. And I think she will lunge and she will stab him through his robe, and he will fall, and he's badly wounded. And I think that's the moment where the letter will fall from his robe. And indeed, there is nothing that he can say, but I think at that moment she will pick up and see the letter, and
The blood drains from her face when she realizes what she has done, and she looks at the blood spreading on your robes. Delan, got this opportunity, drawn their attention, got the ropes in place. Let's have you roll duel. 10. What does that look like? What is that brilliant finishing move that you do?
So I get her rope dart tangled up on another pole, and I use that to pull her over. She's caught off balance. She stumbles over a low table, and I have her pinned down with the other end of this pole. And
this is the woman who's kept you apart for so long.
Yeah.
Do you finish her?
Yes, because she attacked me, and I will. She has betrayed
And she sees that
me and
hesitation.
everything.
She sees that hesitation, and she looks at you, and the look in her eyes is like she's saying that you're weak. And then you do it. Crashing down, the two of you in the middle of the feast. Banquet table goes flying, pieces everywhere. Guests are running. And it's you and your brother, Uncle Lon. Roll it.
Oh, so much heartbreak right now. Nephew. So rolling with the
Your
with
style
water.
element.
Yeah, style element, which is +2 to this roll, and that is going to be altogether 13, but I rolled an 11.
What do you do? How do you bring him down, and how does everyone know that you are righteous in this?
I think it is it's part of the style, our 8 steps of the ghost. Actually, the weapon itself resides in us, and it is the 8th step calls forth the octagonal phantom sword. It's a spiritual weapon, and I get distracted. It's that quick shot after Righteous Jade is hurt, and the camera zips quickly to both of us, and we both say at the same time, "Righteous Jade!" But he takes that opportunity to call forth the 8th step, the octagonal sword, but it doesn't come. His betrayal locks it off from his, and everyone sees it, and everyone can feel it, and knows it, because they know this is the end. Then if he's conjuring this up, and I say, "See, brother, even our ancestors leave you at this moment," and then I call the 8th step. I call the octagonal phantom sword, and deliver the blow to his chest.
Runs him through. His staff will crash to the ground, and he will grip at it, but he can't even touch it. He's not worthy of that. And he will collapse back to the ground. Epilogues. This can be in the immediate aftermath, down the road, however you want to do it. Decide what happens. Way. What is your epilogue?
Jade, why did you save me? My life wasn't worth it. And am I narrating for everyone?
Yeah, is he alive? Is he dead? What happens here?
I think Jade will go, "Just live well," and will be presumed for dead. But I think Uncle Lon, if this is okay with you, will, knowing that I think Uncle Lon knows a lot about, with his family's history, about how to protect people, and I think is able to help to restore Jade. So
let me ask you this then: if he lives, does he go off with you, or does he stay here to be married?
Well,
or do we not know?
I at this point, I think it's going to be tough for the wedding to go ahead, right? We at least have some more time together.
All right.
Let things play out.
Bao, what is your epilogue?
I think that Ashen Twilight kneels beside me, clutching the letter, and she holds me, and we look at each other like Yu Xiulian and Li Mubai do in their last scene, and she says, "I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you." And he says, "I'm sorry that I didn't say more." And she knows that what he means is, "I'm sorry that I didn't profess my love to you earlier. We could have avoided this whole thing." And I think at that moment, that is when the Typhoon's Wrath dramatically enters, spinning over the rooftops, all waving fans and lyres and other sorts of unorthodox weaponry. And I think that Baozi completes his mission. And I think we get another shot later of Ashen Twilight near a cherry blossom tree with what looks like a Chinese headstone, and there's incense burning and a bowl of bao, and I think she says nothing, and she stands up, and we see, she puts, she covers half her face, and we see the insignia of the Typhoon's Wrath on her arm, and she has joined them.
Excellent. Delan, what is your epilogue?
I'm going to set it later. A year later, we see Devon and Jelan in a simple mountain house, where Jelan is much more simply dressed than she has been, suggesting that her clan has lost status as the marriage failed to go through. And we see them having a meal together, and their hands linger on each other, and they look fondly upon each other.
Quiet and simple, eyes meeting. Uncle Lon, what is your epilogue?
I think it's I think it's later. Uncle Lon has saved the righteous Jade, and by saving righteous Jade, has exposed that he's always been his guardian, because he uses his martial techniques to save him. So it's later, and he now is in charge of the household, and righteous Jade he's presenting the family tome to righteous Jade, and he's a little solemn and a little weary, and righteous Jade asks what we should do now, and Uncle Lon says, Jade, there has been so many heartbreaks in our family, and it is time for it to heal. And he says, you know who truly loves you. Let that heal your heart. Be with Wei. And the doors open up to the family estate, and he ended up and then Horse is there, and
Yes.
he's seeing him off, onto his new journey in life.
Rides out after way. And that's our movie. That's our show. That's our wuxia episode. Thank you all so much. I had a great time running this. I loved everybody's characters. What great characters today. Just absolute delight. So thank you, everybody. And I'm right on time. So there we go. I was glad we got a chance to do epilogues. Myri, Marcus, Brian, it's lovely to play with all of you. Brian, we played together before, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we played a couple. You ran a couple games for me at previous Gauntlet Cons, and they went very well.
Okay,
so,
okay.
I was excited to get this opportunity again.
Oh, excellent. Marcus, Myri, just absolute delight. I love playing with new people. So it was really super. And Cisco, who played in Masks with me, and it is a joy to play with. I was glad to have you in to be able to run Hearts of Wulin for you. Thank you all so much. I hope you play other games at the con, and well, that's all I can say. Everybody, I'm going to stop the recording, and I do want to check in. Is everyone okay with me posting the video for this? Oh, okay. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm just going to go downstairs and tell